Hey guys, what's up? It's Kyle. This is my first video response question, and it is to my best friend's brother, Michael. He is asking, how much does genetics affect your muscle gain? Let me start off by telling you, Michael, that I personally, this is experience, I personally don't feel that genetics affects people that much, but that's just me because, my mom's small, my dad's small, my whole family is a bloodline full of small people. But, over the past 2 months, I've been able to gain 15 pounds of muscle, and, that's a pretty big weight gain, and I feel like my genetics didn't determine that. But, it's some people are born with more or less muscle fiber than others, and this determines, or not basically determines completely, but it can help determine what size your muscles will actually end up being depending on your physical activity. There's other effects on how your DNA, how your genetics are portrayed through your body, like your fitness level at the moment, how much physical activity you have, or opposed to what kind of diet you have. Because if you have a shitty ass diet, your genetics control your metabolism, and if you eat a shitty ass diet, it's going to slow down your metabolism, and you're going to get fat. Lazy people and fat people, a lot of them blame it on their genetics, but that's not the case. They're just lazy ass motherfuckers who don't want to go out and do the work. Genetics doesn't solely determine what your fitness level is. A lot of where genetics comes in is at the rate of which you lose weight or lose fat, and how fast you gain muscle, and the quality of the muscle density that you have. You can't gain more muscle fibers. You are just increasing the size of the muscle fibers that you have at the time. The best way that I can think of, this is just from experience, is increasing your time under tension, which increases the hypertrophy response of your muscles, which increases the anabolic state that they're going to be in after you're done working out, which is the rebuilding of your muscles. Let's see. Genetics does play a small part in retrospect. It might be 50% or 75%. There's tons of shit out there, tons of studies. I personally just don't feel like it affects it that much, but that's just me. If you want tips on how to get big, I have two that I'm going to give you in this video, and you can always ask me more fitness tips, and I'll give you more fitness tips. But this is my first video response, so I'm not going to give everything away. If you want to get big, first determine your metabolic type. There's quite a few metabolic types, and this determines what type of food is best for your metabolism. Like meats or vegetables or fruits. So someone who lived in Alaska 20,000 years ago is going to have a different metabolic type than someone who lived in Russia 20,000 years ago. It really depends on the food that was available at the time, and that's what your genetic line is basically coming from. That's the kind of food that your metabolism works best with. And once you determine your metabolic type, you're going to have to do, some people are going to do a dirty bulk, which is eat as much calories as they possibly can and eat whatever the fuck they want. It's going to be the whole food diet, whole pizzas, whole cakes, whole shit like that. But you don't need to do it that way. You need to do a clean bulk, which is 100 to 200 calories above the amount of calories you need from your metabolic type. And this is also subjective to your physical activity, and they ask you all these questions and such like that, and I'm going to provide some links at the end of the video with sites you can go to for metabolic typing and caloric calculators and stuff like that, but that's beside the point. The second tip I'm going to give you is lift heavy, and I'm talking heavy. Lifting heavy increases the hypertrophy response and the time under tension that your muscles have to go through. So that basically it destroys the fuck out of your muscles, and then, protein, bam, anabolic state, rebuilding, bigger, better, stronger. Heavy weight does that. It builds big muscle. Lifting really lightweight with lots of reps builds dense, hard, small muscle and increases strength, but lifting heavy gets you bigger muscles. And the kind of heavy that I'm talking about is like 5 sets of 2 to 4 reps each. Like you need to lift heavy, stuff like negatives and stuff like and things like that. Those will help a lot with muscle gain, mass gain, and stuff like that. So, I hope that helps, dude. This video is just based on reading and experience that I have in the weight room, and I've experienced that lifting heavy and determining my metabolic type helped me gain muscle and size, the size that I wanted. There's just a few simple tips that you can use to gain some muscle, and don't forget to email me your questions, any fitness questions you guys have. I'll even answer questions that are related to life. It's up to you. Send me any questions you want, but try to make them more fitness related because that's kind of what I'm more intellectual about. All right, guys, thanks for tuning in. It's Kyle signing out. So, send me your questions.